Hello, everyone. How are you? It is Wednesday. I am Leah Dunlap, and this is Oracle Live TV. Thanks so much for joining us. I know that some of you right now are probably watching this on a watch party, and we really love that you're here. We love that you're watching. We love that you guys are sharing this show. Thank you so much for doing that. And we really want to hear what you have to say. We want to give you the opportunity to win a prize. And we also want to hear your questions. So if you are currently watching this on a watch party, be sure to click on the link that will bring you inside the room so that you can ask questions. Because one of the things that you may or may not know about the show is that while we have some incredible guests teaching us and talking to us about the cool things that they're doing in the world, we also save time at the end of our show so that you guys can ask your own questions of the Oracle. And that is something that I'm really proud of this show for offering, because I really want to reach as many people as possible. That is the mission that the Oracle has given me. And so as we talk about that, let me let you a little bit about myself. I am Leah Dunlap. I'm the Oracle on purpose. I was given this gift for basically at birth, but I found out that I had this amazing gift when I was 14 years old. So I've been utilizing my gift of divine guidance since that time. And I use it now specifically with entrepreneurs and light-bearing leaders who are working on big projects, making big changes in the world through their services and their skills and their talents. And I get the opportunity, the amazing opportunity, to help them and guide them through the process of creating business strategies and business plans that are aligned with who they are as a human being and their unique life purpose, as well as their business genius, so that they can really feel fulfilled and give and deliver exactly what the universe expected when it created them. So that is why the Oracle on Purpose is here. And that is why Oracle Live TV was born, so that I could have the opportunity to reach more and more people. Because what I found out in this show, and as you've been watching us for the last several episodes, you probably already know this, is that when someone on this show asks a question of the Oracle, it is often someone in the audience who also receives the message. So that could be you watching us today. That could be one of our guests. It could be even something some of the guests say, which is really great. And that kind of brings me to that first subject I mentioned earlier, which is our little prize, our little giveaway that we do every night when we do the show. And that is our Insight Prize. And the reason we do that is twofold. First of all, we want to encourage you to stay with us, to pay attention to all the amazing things that are happening and people are saying during the show. And also, honestly, it's because when we write down something that we've recognized as insightful or informative or inspiring, it helps to really deepen that experience in us. So you get to take the knowledge forward with you, which of course, hey, that's the point, right? So in order to take advantage of that, you would need to just simply put in the screen below us, right? You would just need to type this in. And then the great thing is it's really simple. You have to be here because we're going to actually announce it after at the end of the show. But you type in the hashtag. Oh my goodness, there it is. There it is. I knew it was up here somewhere. Hashtag Insight. Okay, so hashtag Insight. And then whatever the insight is, and you will be entered, and we will pick someone at random at the end of the show. The other thing that you can do now or at any time in the show, so you don't have to wait if you're coming in now, please note this. You don't have to wait. If you're coming in now or coming in later, all you need to do to ask a question of the Oracle yourself is just post Q&A and the question in the comments. And we'll go ahead and pull those up at the end of the show as well. So we'll try to do our best. We have some great guests on, and we'll probably be diving into some really juicy things. So I do my best to keep an eye on the clock so we can have some time for those questions too. But do go ahead, post your questions right away, and we'll go ahead and get those at the end. So as we're all settling in, thanks for coming. And that's the other thing. If you've popped in and you're new to the show, please let us know, say new viewer, and that way we get to know how many more of those new great people are coming on from those watch parties. And if you want to make sure that you don't miss the link to get inside the room next time, just put on the screen below live view. If you type in live view, our system will automatically let you know when we're live next time. All right. So thank you again, everyone. Like I said, I am Leah Dunlap, the Oracle on Purpose. I'm an intuitive business architect. I work with clients all over the world in 76 different countries. I've helped them to discover and uncover their unique life purpose and business genius so that they can create powerhouse businesses that flow as they grow. And tonight, I'm especially excited because I do work with a lot of business owners, and I'm often looking for resources for them so that they can actually continue that growth and that flow. So one of the people that I was so fortunate to meet at a really amazing retreat in Santa Cruz last year was my next guest. And what I love is that whenever I send a client to this guest, I get a thank you from the client. They're so excited to meet with her. She's got such great insight and information. And so I really want you guys to, send a nice shout out to our next guest. Her name is Janine Greger, and she is the VA matchmaker. Janine, why don't you join us and we will get to know from you a little bit more about who you are and what you do. Janine, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about that?
Hello. Hi. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it so much. I'm honored to be here. I have my name of my company is Your Virtual Dream Team. I connect entrepreneurs with virtual professionals. I save the business owners that I work with at least 10 hours of recruiting and vetting, qualifying, and interviewing VAs based not only on their skills, but on their attitudes, their beliefs, their cultural preferences, and their behaviors. So there is a human connection, not just for the skills. And I build teams, and that's what I do. So I, just like you, I help entrepreneurs, help them to grow, and that's my job. So I'm the VA matchmaker.
That's me, Janine. Live TV, folks, here we go. So I was just saying that one of the things that I love about what you do and why I was so inspired to share you and your business with my clients was when we talked, I really appreciated how much you were not just looking at filling a spot, but making that connection between the entrepreneur, the business owner, and their VA so that it was a really a partnership, and you meant to look at it in a way that was so different. It's not just about the pricing, and it's not just about, how many hours they have available. It really was about like, how do you build this team? And I liked that you really take time to help clear that up so that somebody that we don't, as an owner myself, I will say I have a couple of companies, and I know how difficult it is, how hard it is to go through that process of hiring someone to help support you in a way that you feel like you can kind of relax around it, right? So tell me, what are some of the things that you find for your clients that they most appreciate about having that step away from having to go through all of those people? What is the thing that you hear most often when they've gotten through that process with you? Oh, hey, you're muted now. Why don't you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me now? Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, they mostly say, I wish I had met you when I first, started my business. That's the first thing they say, because they're doing all of the lower level, I call it lower level work by themselves. And so what happens is that leaves them less time to spend with the higher revenue generating work. So that's the first thing they say. They get back to doing the work that they went into business to do because somebody else is taking care of the social media, the administration, that kind of thing. And then there's also a specialty level, which is the other, there are two types of VAs, the general VA and the strategic technical VA. So a lot of people just come to me first for the general VA, just to kind of clear their plates. And then from there, we work to bring in a technical person. And then that helps them with their affiliate management programs. It helps them with their product launches. That's a big thing for me. And their just their marketing piece and their technical piece. So two types of VAs, and that's what mostly people will come to me about. First, we start sometimes with the general, and then sometimes if they already have a team, they're looking to fill a place or looking to grow, then we'll add on the strategic. So that's how I work it with them. But I'm going to answer your question about the first question that people ask me is how do you do this? And I get to know the clients that I work with. I talk to them on the phone. I ask them what their preferences are. People work differently, as you know, in the business world. Some people like to communicate. Some people just want a text message. Some people are willing to have a meeting once a week. Some people once a month. So I connect those pieces, the communication piece with the VA, the VA that I have in mind for them. And I vet about 10 VAs before I narrow it down to about 2 of them. So that's what I do is I work with the business owner, and then I work with the virtual assistant so that there really is a great match.
I love it. And I think that it's interesting that you said that too, because there's this piece where I know we talked about this once, which is the client knowing, I think sometimes we think when we go into this arena of like getting help, like because we've done it all before for ourselves for so long, we think we just need one person. So I love it brought in, like it could be a team of people and that they specialize in different things. I think it's really great. Like when we're specializing in something, right?
Yes.
As we are, we understand that we're able to do our job better. And I think that it's really interesting that you bring that in, that your conversation with the client is there to design like that expression of, look, you're going to need this. So it sounds like you actually do kind of, in asking them questions, figure out like what they might be missing. How often do you think it is that they don't even know?
They don't really know how often. About sometimes 50% of the time, people come to me just with an emotion. They'll say to me, I'm pulling my hair out. I'm not, I can't get this done. And then it's time to sit with them and just break down, what do you want off your plate now? What do you want off your plate in 3 months? How about 6 months? Where do you see yourself a year from now? And based upon those responses, we start to break things down. Then they can see that they can, a lot of times people don't want to get rid of the things they're used to doing because either somebody won't do it as well as they did. So that's also another, that they have, they have to work that through. Also the training piece, people think they need to train their VA, but I only work with business owners that are VAs. I don't work with freelancers. So VAs that I work with are business owners themselves. So that makes a big difference with the matches because those VAs can bring that entrepreneurial piece to their clients.
Man, you're giving us such great information. So I see some new viewers here. So I just want to remind you guys, like Janine is laying down some really good information about VAs. I know a lot of you are business owners, so this is like really juicy stuff, which is just a reminder, if you want to participate in tonight's #insight giveaway, this is good stuff. Like there's stuff here to use for sure. So I would put that down so that make sure you get yourselves in the giveaway. And I want to commend you because what I understand of the work that I've heard from my clients when they've come to you is you help the business owner understand even more than they might already, as you were just saying, what they might need. So it sounds like you also have a really great experience of being able to cultivate a team for someone and look at areas where they might need help, where they may not even realize that they could get that kind of a assistance. Is that true?
That is absolutely true. So if they say to me, oh, I'm giving a speaking engagement. And then they're like, they're saying to me, well, where do you want, what do you want to do with that speaking engagement? Do you want to promote it? Do you need somebody to set up the event for you? Do you need your notes, transcribed? I mean, what do you need done? And then we start to break down. I start with the goals and then I work my way backwards. I reverse engineer what the achievements want to be. And then when I do that, then we figure out where they need the help. And so that's a couple of the people that you had graciously sent me that's what I worked on with them. And in some cases, they really just want to be the speaker. They just want to be the coach. They want to be the author. They want to be, what it is they love. So, so we start to pull apart those things and then break it down and figure out that maybe you need an online business manager. Maybe you need an affiliate manager. Maybe you don't. Maybe a general VA would be perfect just to kind of help things along. So
I love it. And I'm curious, tell me for those of the people that are watching and people watching the replay, which I know there'll be more people as well watching the replay, that idea of having a online manager. Mm-hmm. I remember when you and I talked about that, back months and months ago. But tell me, like, when someone's out there like thinking like, what do I need? What is an online manager really going to help a business owner get over? Like, what do they take on for them?
They take on the process of whatever the business owner is doing. So they oversee the team. They make sure all the team is doing all the pieces that they're supposed to be doing. Sometimes you have a graphics designer. Sometimes you have, a copywriter. All these pieces need to be together so that the project or the business is running smoothly. They really act. The online business manager acts as the sort of a second hand or a right arm to the business owner, and takes on the business in the sense that they actually oversee projects and making sure that they're meeting the goals. That helps to take a lot of stress and pressure off the business owner. It's a great opportunity. There are some wonderful business owners that I know that do this, for a living. Yeah. And most of them have started as VAs and actually got their accreditations to become online business managers. So being a VA is actually a great starting background. That's where I started.
I love it. So tell me right now, as you look at your business and as you're building your business, mm-hmm. One of the things I think is like what people say often, like, how do I know when I'm ready to start building a team? Like, where is that line? And do you have a sense for yourself when you share with people, like when they're ready, when they might be ready to do that?
Most of the time, people know they're ready for some help. I mean, they've reached a point where they know they need some help, and they're kind of asking around. They're asking other people. They're asking their friends. They're kind of perusing. What can I do? So and so did this. Oh, I really like how this person did this. Can you make that recommendation? That's a big. So when they've started that, then they come to me. At that point because most people know that I was a VA for 10 years. So I can bring that to the business. I've been on the other side. I know what it's like to be a VA and to make that match. Now I have my own VA. So I'm familiar with the process, but that's actually what they ask. Yeah.
I love it. Okay. So this is interesting too, because one of the things that you just mentioned, I think is important for people to understand, which is when you get a team, they actually can not only save you money, but tell me, because I know you know this, is it not true that they can also make you money? And tell me about that. How can you use VA to make money?
Right.
I know we just got to jump in viewers like, wait, what? Yeah. Come on over. Janine's about to drop the bomb on how your VA can make money. Tell us a little bit about that, because I know you offered to share a gift with our viewers, and I want to hear a little bit about what that might be like.
Yes. Well, when I was a VA, I made money for my clients. And so one of the specialties that I had, and this is one of 5 that I list as the gift that I have, is to make money in webinars. Mm-hmm. I made money before the webinar, helping to promote starting to promote it, getting to know the participants, getting some idea of where they were in their businesses. I reached out so I did a lot of work beforehand. I also did the promotion. Then within the webinar, I also handled the chat. And so when I saw people kind of not really paying attention or whatever, I kind of steer the conversation back within the chat. A lot of times I answered questions, things like, oh, this is such, like, say if they're rolling out a product and it's too expensive, and I see that in the chat, then I would recommend another product that the coach would have. Sort of keep them in the tribe, kind of keep them going. So I would roll that link out, and I would, where's the PayPal button was often a big question I answered because people couldn't find it. So I would start to maintain a relationship with the participants in the webinar. And that also gave the client who was running the webinar time to just focus on whatever it is they were teaching. They didn't have to look at the chat. They didn't have to answer questions, that kind of thing.
Fantastic.
And having, yes, and then and having me there.
I know that you told me that you've got this kind of all put together in a way that people can just get this juicy details. So tell me, if you want to, I think you gave me the link, but if you'll put it in our chat, we'll go ahead and post it on the screen here in a moment so you guys can get it. But tell them what they'll be getting if they click on this link you're going to provide with me.
It's a PDF that the title is 5 Ways to Turn a VA into a profit center and have them pay for themselves. So I'll put the link in for you.
Awesome.
So
5 ways to turn your VA into a profit center. Wow.
Have them pay for themselves. It's true.
I love it. Okay. Talk about an insight. There's an insight for sure. So share this with me then, as you look at your own business now, and I loved hearing that you have your own VA. What would you like to ask the Oracle in regards to where you are with your business right now, and how might I be able to share some of my genius with you and help you to create even more brilliance with your own clients?
Thank you. I've thought long and hard about this. My business is very cut and dry. It's either they want a VA or they don't want a VA. It's either they see the VA as an expense or they see the VA as an investment. It's that kind of thing. But the issue is that I happen to be a very creative person, and I am very involved in, like, I don't want to. People tell me I have good taste. I have I'm interested in artwork. I'm very careful about how I select gifts for people. I really try to hone in on what that person might like, that I can show my appreciation. I really make a big difference in being creative in my relationships, but I don't see that in my business as much as I would like to. So my question is, how can I make my business more creative?
Oh, what a great question. So I heard a lot of things happening in that conversation. So I want to kind of tap into some of them. And there's a quick question I have back for you, which oftentimes happens. And that is, are you wanting to make the activity of your business more creative, or are you wanting to be more creative yourself? This is the question back.
I would like the first option, which is to be more creative in the business. That's what I would like, because I'm already creative within myself.
Right. Okay. So thank you, because that just helps clarify like what area here I'm looking at. So as I look at your business, the first thing I will say is that I see a discount from you on something that it's almost like you're saying a thing that's not true, and you've bought it, which is that people only want 1 or 2 things from you.
Right.
And the Oracle's going, that's not true at all. Oh. Like that may be the one block you have right now, is to think that it's as if you're putting that in front of any way for you to be creative in your business. Oh. So it's as if you've created a wall and you're standing behind it saying, why is this wall in my way? It's like, well, because you're holding it up. So if you put the wall down and you ask a better question, which is, how do I become fully engaged? Like, your creativity and the way you speak of your creativity, energetically, you're already raising your vibration. So to bring more of that to the table, simply in the way you speak, in the way you engage with your clients, I think that is going to allow you to understand that you will get from them the response you expect, is what she's saying.
Oh, wow. Wow. That makes sense to me, for sure.
Good.
I understand. You're right. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Good. And there's this other beautiful piece about this, that Janine, you are such a bright light. And I think that just both myself, and I feel the oracles that I'm getting the nod of this being true, that your presence is creative. Like your energetic presence is very vivacious and creative. And so I would just step more fully. It's like, just be more visible, be more you in your communication, and also just trust, having a little bit more faith in the fact that you can be all of yourself. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's pieces of you that you've been kind of like, well, that doesn't belong. But she's saying like, no, you got to bring all of you into this.
Yes.
To really enjoy it.
Yes. I understand.
How does that land for you?
It lands wholly. It really does, because I am, and I know that I am quite formal, and I just am very formal in the things that I do, and I walk a very small path sometimes when it comes to, I'm very big on etiquette. I'm very big on hurting people's feelings, these kinds of things. I'm very conscious of that. And sometimes that does hold me back. Letting loose is not, it doesn't, really always work with me. But you're right. You're absolutely correct. If people saw more of me, then that would be really helpful.
Yeah, it's interesting. She's like, yeah, you letting loose would not feel right. Like that would feel weird too. Like that'd be like, what is happening? And so there's this place though of that you have room. you have a lot of room between that and where you are. Yes. So to know that you have, I always like to say like the oracle's giving you permission. I don't have to give you permission, but there's like this sense of having permission to be more present. She's showing me like to speak from the heart of like, and that comes back to the etiquette piece, because when you talked about the etiquette piece, this dropped in, which was speaking more from your love of people, like that kindness you have, which I know you do. Okay. You might be surprised how many people will be touched by that.
Okay.
Yeah. That will soften the formality.
Is that a skill? Is that
a skill? You mean speaking from the heart?
Yeah. How does that? It's just a matter of.
I think what, from what I'm hearing there, it's more the idea that you're not couching. There was one thing you said, that's what it is. It's in regards to not hurting other people's feelings.
Right.
Yeah. So there's this sense that you probably think you're going to hurt people's feelings more often than you really are. And there's a boldness sometimes that will help you. It doesn't need to, but it will help you to help them more. So I'm thinking there must be some sort of situation here that this relates to, where perhaps you thought you were hurting someone's feelings, or you might, and so you held back. But it may have been something where once you said that to that person, you were holding back the success of that exchange.
Okay. Yeah.
How does that
register? It does. Okay. It's true. I'm very conscious of holding back.
Yeah.
It actually is it is a wall, and I do purposely put it up because I don't want to hurt I don't like to hurt people, but you're right. I could speak more openly and maybe even take a chance.
I think that's it. Like, so the phrase that she keeps rolling around here, and that's like literally on my tip of my tongue, is biting your tongue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and again, I think she's like this right after that. It's like, and don't worry, doesn't mean you're going to hurt somebody's feelings. Like there might be a place where you're dancing with that.
Yeah.
And you can be a little bit, stretch a little bit more into it.
Okay. Yeah. I can do that.
So in regards to like how you bring some more creativity, it feels like when you say creativity, what I'm seeing is like more vivacious, more life, more energy into your business. Does that seem correct? Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's what she's saying. So like these things are going to help rejuvenate and She's like popcorn. It's like energetic popcorn for you. So that's that creative energy that maybe you're feeling is lacking, is coming from just like that release of some of that. So I think that's, I think that's the idea, the concept she's trying to relay. How does that land for you?
It lands. It really does. I understand. Wonderful. I'm going to have to practice a little, practice, just kind of little by little, but I can pop those kernels.
Good. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for this question. I know that you're going to go ahead and put your link in there. So we'll get that in there. And so if you guys are watching this and perhaps like Janine or others who've had this in the past, being able to be open and to share what we really think and feel. Just hearing the comment from the Oracle in regards to that transaction that's happening, that communication transaction can be kind of null and void if we pull back. So I think that's that piece. And so thank you, Janine, again, for your question. To all of you who are watching, I see some people are out here right now. This is the time when you can put some insights in. I see some insights already, so I'm going to go ahead and pull some of them up before we get moving on. So Maureen, hey, Maureen. Excuse me, Maureen says, you can stop your creativity by assuming your clients only want one or two services from you. Yeah, that's a great insight. Like we can start. It's funny to me when I have clients who've said that they have this block, and when we uncover or the Oracle points to this place where literally she's like, the person who's involved is the one holding the block, right? And sometimes that can be us holding guilt, holding shame, like we're the ones carrying the rock and saying, I'm so tired. It's like, put the rock down. Yes, thank you so much. That's a great insight. Okay, if you're watching, remember, you can also post your insights, and at the end of the show, we will go ahead and pull somebody's. Oh, I didn't say what we were doing. That's right. Okay, so #insight tonight. We're going to be giving away these super cool. It may not be the Believe, by the way. It's just I'm going to show you. This is a sample of it, though. This card box has these really great little inspirational quotes. And what I love about them really is that there's 30 in the box, so you get 3 of these little box cards, and there's the quote inside, which you can't see here, but come in these really cute little cards, and they actually have a little note section on the back. So if you want to, I'm going to tell you a story really quickly because it just reminded me. I was on an airplane once, and I got one of these from a stewardess. I must have made her day somehow. I don't know how. I'm always pretty nice to people that are in the service industry. But so before I left, she put it on my tray when she picked up my things. And I opened it. On the back, she said, like, have a nice day. And I opened it, and it's a little inspiration. So it's like a little card that I got from some random stranger, but it was so sweet. I went to go find out, how do I get these cards? So that's what we're giving away tonight for the Insight giveaway. So if you get something from what I'm saying, what Janine has said, what Lisa, who's coming up soon, will say, then please go ahead and share it. I'm getting the link right now for Janine's giveaway, and I highly recommend. I'm going to put it in both the comments, and then while I'm talking here for a second, I'm going to put it on the screen. And that way, if you want to download, I mean, who doesn't want their VA to pay for themselves? This is bottom line, right? I think that when I heard that concept from Janine, I was like, okay, mind blown. Like, because I think so many of my clients will have that argument. I can't afford to have a VA. I have to do all this. I have to work till midnight. I have to work, on the weekends. I have to work 24/7, and then I'm exhausted. And it's like, not only is it the time, right? Like, because I always tell them that it's the time that you're spending. How much is your time worth? That's a whole nother story. It's also like the concept of ease. When Janine said, you could be doing your work and someone else could be in the chat log, managing the chats, handling conversations, handling questions for you, so that you can focus on really showing up for your clients in your unique genius. And speaking of unique genius, before we move on, I want to remind everybody, if you have a question for me or the Oracle, at the end of the show, we'll be taking those questions. So you can just put Q&A and your question in the comments. So you got #insight to win the Insight prize and any insights you have, and then Q&A, and that lets me know that you have a question. At the end, we will try our best to save some time so that we can share the insights of the Oracle with you as well. So without further ado, I would like to invite my next guest up to the screen. My next guest is Lisa Joshua. I'm trying to say that. I tried that, Joshua. So she's going to correct me in just a moment. And that's what happens. And that's live TV. And it's also grace. I think we all have to have a little grace with ourselves. So how did I do? I think I made it worse by typing it out.
I'm cracking up. That's the best.
So, why don't you share with us the correct pronunciation and tell us a little more about yourself?
That's so funny. That was the best, though. I was like giggling here. My last name is Lajoie. My name is Lisa Lajoie, and Lajoie means joy in French.
I love it. Well, I'm glad that it made you laugh. And you know what? If you say that, I'm like, why did I put a J there? As soon as I saw the J and looked down, I was like, something's wrong. Okay, so there we go. I love it. Yeah. So tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what you're up to right now in the world today.
Oh, sure. I'm really happy to be here. It's great to meet you and great to connect with you live also. So I'm a master intuitive and business also intuitive. I work with business owners and I work with individuals to help them find attain their messages from the divine world. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, professionally for about 20 years, but I've been receiving messages all my life and just had to figure out how to make it matter and to put it in the right actionable experience so people could understand what to do with it. So I love what you're up to. I really appreciate that you are supporting this work, and I'm really happy to be here and share some time with you.
I am so excited. And when you said what you were up to, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love talking to other intuitives. I really do. Some people are like, oh my gosh, I'm like, no, are you kidding me? Like, we're like a tribe that beyond tribes. And I love it. I love it. Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah. I'm curious. So when you're working with clients, and I know we probably have some similar experiences, I would love to know, this is probably just one of those silly questions, but I think it's really fun to hear from people. Like, what is the one time when you were surprised about like something you had to share with a client that was like, oh, like that they were surprised? Like, I want to hear like, what was that? Maybe there's probably more than one, but one that stands out for you that was like, okay, that's surprising insight to give to someone. And what would that be?
Oh, seriously, there's so many. I don't know. Like, there's just so many incredible experiences. Like, I've had, I think some of the most pleasurable and joyful times are when, you know, I'm just sitting and working with somebody and all of a sudden like a parent or a loved one will come in and start like actually supporting the experience. Like, I think those are my favorite moments. Like, I'm talking to somebody and their parent comes in and just starts like, I'm doing my clairvoyant, and all of a sudden it's like, there's just support and love and this divine embrace that happens through me for the person. A couple of other really cool ones are like, I'll be sitting there and one of the masters will come in, like all of a sudden Jesus will come into the space, or Buddha, or like an angel. That's always incredible and magnificent and surprising to me, because I'm like just doing my thing and all of a sudden there's this omnipresence in front of me saying, hello, child. I'm like, hello, what's up? You know, so
I love it. Oh my gosh. I my face is hurting from the smile. So you're living up to your last name right now. My face hurts. Okay. So, but I think it's so great, because do you have clients who say, when some of that happens, do they freak out?
They do. They do. They just break down. It's like instant breakdown. One of the things that happens, I'm sure you go through this too. It's like, I make the connection. They know I see them, and boom, like tears they just come. And then this master walks in with this divine love, which they feel through the experience also, to recognize there is this magnificent divine world embracing us each and every day. And it just, for me, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure you feel this too. Like, it's just so absolutely exciting for me to be able to be that conduit for someone else to experience it. Well, yeah, I'm like, I love it. Like, I'm blown away by it. I'm like, sometimes I'm bawling, you know, I'm just like, this is incredible.
I love that. You know, I took a trip when I take shh. Leah, I take my clients on these international retreats. This happens too. Do you have this experience when you're talking with another, and then like all of our guys are like chatty. I'm like, shh, just a second.
Oh yeah, no. Oh no, especially if you're in a room.
Right? It's like, I can get a headache. I'm like, okay, slow down.
It's a lot.
I remember just in speaking about that point of like where you can really, even as a channel, I think you can be like overwhelmed with how beautiful. Like that's something like, I mean, I can't even like, there's not really a word, but it's like this immense sense of awe and wonder and beauty. And I took a trip to Thailand with a group of my clients, and we were out on this water where we got to sit on a bon and this little outside patio area by the water, by the Andaman Sea. And one moment I suddenly realized we were surrounded by grandmothers, and I was like, oh my gosh, the grandmothers are here. And they took us in and they surrounded us, and we had to, like, all of a sudden I'm like, I'm not even a person who does this. Like, this isn't my vibe thing that I do. I said, but I feel like we have to honor all the grandmothers, and we have to honor all the corners. And we just started doing it every day for the retreat. And it was like perfect, but it was I agree with you. There's that moment where you just know you're attached to something so wise and beautiful and wonderful that it is that honor. It's that real honor. So I love that. I love that you bring that up, and I can tell. Yes, I totally feel that. And as you're talking, it's so fun because for me, my first impression with the Oracle is always a full body flush when we're like on track and we're talking about something. Yeah. And she's just like zapping me like over and over. I'm like, okay, yes, I know. So she's like, ooh, yes, I love it. Yes, and more yeses to what you're saying. So tell me what, I know you work with clients. It sounds like one-on-one. Do you have like programs or?
Yeah, I do. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited I've actually launched a spiritual intuitive mastery course. I'm taking applicants now to teach, just about like really finding wholeness, understanding ascension, chakras, divine world, laws of creation, what's going on, how do we bring it all together? So, because so many people are confused, and I'm sure you have this too. Like, I've been in the industry a long time, and there's so much information out there that people are like, but I don't know how to apply it to my life. I know I'm intuitive, but I don't even know how to use it, classify it, work with it, questions. What do I do? So I created this mastery course out of demand because I recognize there's people crossing that bridge where they're like in between. They have a bit of knowledge, but they have no idea how to create the circle of influence around the knowledge and their spiritual practice. And so I'm very excited about that. I'm also really excited because I also do international retreats, and I'm doing a women's empowerment one here in Montreal, Quebec, which is absolutely thrilling. And also in Morocco. And I have to tell you, like, I'm so excited about where our world is kind of going, and the openness and then the embracement that's happening in the world for the work, the divine work that just blows my mind. And I'm just excited to be on the leading edge of it. It's very important to me that people understand they have a soul that really loves them and cherishes them and has chosen them for a divine reason. And that's what matters. That's really what matters. Yeah. And sometimes all the rest of the mumbo jumbo doesn't matter as much as that.
I totally agree. That piece too, I think is so, as you mentioned, like where we are in the world today and what's happening. There's so much there, as people come to you like, you're like, okay, I know. I just know that this is happening on purpose, and I'm going to help you breathe through it. But what I also know and what I sense as well, as you were saying, is like, this is the opportunity for people to really stand in purpose and to find their purpose and to be on purpose. And so I love that you're doing that with you, because it's, I just got back from the south of France. I went to the Mary Magdalene Caves. And
you did? How was that?
Go. Yes, it was incredible. But what happened to me above the caves was the biggest download I've ever had. And one of the things that happened in that moment, it was this voice that said, you have to reach thousands of people. And that's how Oracle Live TV became born. Because I'm like, well, I'm one person. Like, you gotta help me out. How am I gonna do that? And so, but the other thing that happened in that moment was I walked away, and the women that I was with, we went afterwards to have something to eat and drink at this little cafe. And I said, oh my gosh, it was so incredible. I said, the thing that hit me was I remembered being at the point of creation. And I was like, I don't think I've ever said that out loud before. And yet,
orgasmic woman.
It was. I was like, okay. You know, as you were saying earlier, it's like, so now we know that. Okay. And what do you do with that? But what was beautiful about it for me in relation to what you're talking about is the concept of all things, no things, right? Like there's like this sense of all things are nothing because it's all this energy of things that came from nothing. And so knowing that as we are, as you said, like we're bringing more awareness to it, we're starting to rise to it, that, you know, my role is to help people to, as you are, unlock the cage, like to get outside of that, as you said, and to really start to embrace it, understand it, not hide it anymore, not feel fearful about it. And yes, having a collective that is out there now, like we are, speaking out, sharing, you know, last year I did a video called "Why Do We Still Burn Witches?" And I think that this speaks to that. Like, I love how much now, the fact that I could even say that on a video, right? Down, like I was a little nervous afterwards, but the response I got to that, I'm like, yeah, this is the time. This is where we are now. People are really starting to open up and become more awake and more aware. So I'm curious, as a fellow, what would you like to ask the Oracle on your behalf?
Oh, well, I would love, first of all, I want to just acknowledge your wonderful energy and the amazing energy you're sending out and to me during this interview, which I really love and adore. And I love the Oracle too. That's pretty cool. And so what's coming for me, like what's coming up is this question around, I have visions for the next steps of, you know, touching masses of people and things like that. And I'm curious to know if there's any insights that are really important to me to help me and to support me in doing that. Is there any blocks or anything that Oracle's like, you know, Lisa, you may want to just turn left here? Any information around that?
I love it. Yes. So she's sending me to the seat of your soul. And the image I'm getting, so the image I'm getting is of you cross-legged and literally vibrating out, like this from the seat of your soul. Like literally, she keeps going back to like to the sits bones, like sit. And maybe there's a sense of sitting in your power. Sitting in your power is what keeps happening. Sitting in it. She keeps just saying. So I don't know. I'm getting the feeling of like. So there's this other person that I know that she's showing me this picture of, this video of an image of someone who I had worked with in the past who was very energetically busy. Very kinetic and busy. And so she's showing me like one of the things that happened was that there was a sense where she needed to just sit still. Sitting still, like there's this. So more energy now coming to the left side of the hip, and for you to know, like there's this sitting in balance, like sitting in both sides equally. So there's this kind of, I don't want to say that, hunkering down into what you know. Like there's this sense all the way down in my throat of like, there's something in there, you know, and sitting in it. I keep wanting to say speak it, but she's not even saying you need to speak it. It's not like you have to share it. It's just, you know it, like somewhere in your literally in the core of your sits bones. There's a knowing.
I love it.
So deepening that is the
Mhm.
vibrational pull.
I love it.
Yeah. How does that land for you?
That lands really well.
Okay.
And I have some friends who are going to be really excited about listening to that.
Good. I love it. I love it.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so very much. And if
Mhm.
you would like to share what you're up to in a link in the comments, we'd love to have that so people know what your next big thing is and they can figure out
Sure.
how to get a hold of you. I would love
Sure.
to share that too with
Yeah, I definitely will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much for being here.
Yeah.
And yes, thank you, sister, for the work you are
Yes,
doing.
sister. Yes.
Yes.
It's great
Thank
to meet
so
you.
much. Very
Great.
nice.
I had a
having
great
you.
time. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Woo! All right, folks. I told you it was going to be great. Oh my gosh. So I saw some insights in there. I'm going to give you guys another second. So if you didn't get an insight from Janine and from Lisa and from the Oracle tonight, you must be asleep because there is so much good stuff that happened tonight. I really hope that one of the things I always let everyone know is that even though Janine's asking the questions, even though that Lisa's asking the questions, these are common questions from the universe being spoken through a person. Because as I know, and I often share, the universe doesn't happen to you. The universe happens through you. So this world that we live in, we're all connected. We're all sharing that same vibrational energy. And I hope that you got some insight from some of the people that spoke with us tonight. I'm going to look through here. So if you wrote a question, make sure it says Q&A before it. So I know it's a question because just as I scroll through, it'll be easier. Thanks if you're here and you're new, please write that you're a new viewer. We love to see all our new viewers and, maybe someday we'll do a new viewer giveaway. But for tonight, we're doing our insight giveaway. So we'll do that in a moment and then we'll answer any questions. So if you're thinking about a question, anything at all, anything goes, you can ask a question, Q&A, and your question, and we'll follow up here in the next few minutes. But right now I'm going to go ahead and pull our insight winners. Let's see, we've got another insight here. I'm scrolling down. Hey, okay, I just want to say this person here. I love this person. And she was actually on the mountaintop with me. Leanne, aho, like you lit up in the chapel of the Magdalene in southern France. Yes, that's right. I love it. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being on the show and watching. Let's see. All right, let's see here. We've got any more questions? All right. So we got some of the comments. Someone else just saw. Simone Randall. Hi, Simone. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. I love seeing new faces. Thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, if you are watching in the watch party, we can't see you. So please come over. Come over and share your questions. All right. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and we are going to don't see any questions. Double checking. If you have a question, make sure you've got it on here. All right, ready, steady, and let's pick an insight winner for today. All right. Oh, here we go. Simone actually has a question. Thank you, Simone. Okay, Simone says, may I ask a question about my career in residence, please? Yes, Simone, do you want to go ahead and put your specific question in? Because if you can pick one, that'd be great. If you're here and you're watching, retype an actual question. And I will answer it. So either career or residence, what would you like to ask? One question. We have time. Hey, Renee's got a question. All right, so I'm going to go to Renee's question, and then Simone, I'll come back to your question, and just be specific about what your question is since we only have a few minutes. Is it either career and what do you want to know about it, or residence? And I feel like it's residence, so we'll go there if that's what it is. Okay, here we go. We're going to go with Renee's question. Hi, Renee. Thanks for watching. All right. Renee says, I've been involved physically in the fitness industry. I keep having this vision of myself being on the educational side of the industry, more of a speaking role. So is your question, is that the right direction? If so, I just want to clarify. So if you can clarify, you want to know, do you want to know whether or not you should be in speaking role or a teaching role? I love when the oracle asks a question of the question. So, Renee, if you can follow up with that, I will get back to you. All right. Here we go. Someone says, do healing work need direction? Okay. So I will look for some general information for you, Simone. So I'm going to ask for direction for your career, it sounds like, is what you're looking for, your healing work. So Simone, I'm getting a sensation, so I'm going to share the sensation because I don't want to make it something that it's not, but I'm getting some digestive kind of feeling for you. I don't know whether you work with people on digestion or if you have like some internal healing. Never mind. Corrected by the oracle herself right there. Internal healing. So it sounds as if you need to focus on internal healing is what she's showing me. So either one of two things, either that is saying you need to do your own internal healing or your focus should be internal healing of people. I get just this idea and this concept of internal healing. So if that hopefully matches something for you, that's the insight that I'm getting for you. All right. So there we go. Renee's back. Yay. Well, so here's the good news, Renee. I was asking the question because there was, for me, sometimes when we look at careers, what I see are like pathways for people. And so she was asking me, which of these pathways are you asking? And so I do see for you, and I got a hit, what I call like a brighter light around the speaking. So it seems like you will speak to teach. Okay. So speak to teach is what I got for you. Yeah. So if that is insight that's helpful, you can let me know, or if there's more that you want to know about that. But we've got just another minute here. So speak to teach, and that the speaking is the lead. So, all right, we got some great questions here tonight, guys. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah. So I hope that is the answer to that question. And if not, this is a good thing to note. So you guys, if you didn't get your question answered, or if you'd like to be a live guest on the show, that is absolutely possible. So I'm going to put that information up here so you guys know how to do that. Because, of course, who wouldn't want to get a direct answer from the oracle? So here's how you can do that. If you would like to be on the show like Janine or like Lisa and get a little bit of time to talk about what you're doing and get more of a direct answer for your question, then I would highly recommend that you join us as a live guest. And in order to do that, you can just follow this information below here, or you can go to oraclelivetv.com and register. So either way, that will get you there. And you can register to be a guest. And once you do that, you actually get to pick the date that's available. We'll show you what dates are available. And you can pick a day that you can come on the show yourself and ask your very own question live. So I encourage you to do that. If you asked a question earlier and maybe we didn't get fully through the bottom of that question, go ahead, become a registered guest, and you can be on the show. Or come on back to the next live Oracle Live TV on Wednesday at 6 p.m. and stay in the audience. Make sure your questions here. And as we get more and more time available, we'll try to get to more of those questions and go a little deeper. But we only have a few minutes left, and I want to go ahead and get a hashtag insight out. So we are going to do that. And this is a little weird because my mouse isn't working today. So I'm going to do the whole, I'm not looking. And, oh, wait, who's that? Okay. I'm looking for insight, though. I have to go to insight. Okay, so I need to get an insight. All right, I think the closest we're going to get is this one here. Oh, that's awesome. There we go. So this is actually Maureen. Maureen, you've won again. So I pulled your comment, which I noticed earlier. So this is the second time it's come up. So yes, this is the comment she wrote earlier, but she is the one that I pulled. So Maureen, you will be getting our beautiful little cards, and I will get that out to you in the mail, in the real actual mail, folks. So you'll actually get a package. How fun is that? I love getting packages. Anybody else? I love presents. So I will get that out to you, Maureen. Congratulations for winning that insight giveaway today. And to all of you watching, thank you for watching so much. Thank you to our guest, Lisa Lajoie, there we go. Lisa Lajoie and Janine McGregor. Janine, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Lisa. And thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time for Oracle Live TV. I am Leah Dunlap, the Oracle on Purpose. And remember, you are here on purpose. Bye now.